One of the worst hits by the violence that broke out in many states on day one of the nationwide protests is Kano State, which witnessed destruction and looting. The state is still reeling from the impacts. Operatives of the state's command of the Nigerian police have launched a house-to-house search to recover some of the items stolen during the protest, especially furniture, electronics items, and others carted away by the yet-to-be inaugurated office of the Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC. The command reiterated its commitment to ensure that perpetrators of the mayhem are brought to book. Indeed, more than 400 suspects have been arrested and several items recovered.
Sanusi Lamunde Sanusi, recently installed emir, but whose position is still being contended, said, and I quote, "Any violence in Kano only hurts Kano. It hurts innocent people. The young people who died are our children. The property that was burnt and stolen belonged to the people of Kano. We have set ourselves back. The printing press that was burnt will be rebuilt. The machines will have to be bought, and these are funds that could have gone into youth empowerment, into poverty alleviation." So the point that he's making is, look, they warned, he too warned that this kind of protest you cannot control. And this was the point that we were making at that time, that look, you the kind of protest that you want, where you want to take over the streets, you cannot have that kind of protest in our country without expecting that it will turn violent. This is the point. Why were these people obsessed with taking over the streets? Are they saying it's impossible to protest without occupying the streets? Come on. You talk about your rights to protest. Yes, we agree that you have the right to protest. You have the right to protest. But Section 44 and 45 of the Constitution talk about the limitation to those rights that you are saying that you have.
This guy.
You know, it talks about the limitations that you have. For example, every man, every Nigerian has freedom of movement. But in overriding national interests, government can take away that freedom. That's why you have curfew. When there is curfew, you cannot exercise your right of
to move around.
So there has to be a sense, I mean, that's a sense of responsibility
no absolute
to monitor your protest and ensure that it does not
escalate,
lead to violence. Why, when the court said stay in this place and protest, the point you wanted to make was that, okay, there is hunger in the land. You insisted that you must move through the street, you must block the road to people's homes. And every time you talk about the need that you want to be like other countries, the people protested and blocked roads in the UK, they were jailed. Now look at what we have in Kano. They went to the High Court premises. Guns that were seized from kidnappers, money that was were collected from as exhibit, they took everything away. This court papers, court papers. They took everything away. They went into the mosque. They went into a mosque, stole the rugs on which people pray. They took the rugs away. They vandalized the place. They even stepped on the Quran and left it like a loose sheet.
Oh God!
I mean, why? This is pure madness. This is not. When it gets to that point, it is not. It is not.
It's criminality.
In Zoo Road, innocent people, they wanted to attack their business premises. It was the police that stopped them. Zoo Road in Kano, but along the road leading to the government house, they looted people's shops. There's a famous supermarket in that area. They call Barakat. They looted it to the ground. These boys will loot and even go as far as removing frames of
windows.
Seats.
They were carrying seats in their
They
heads.
took the seats away. I said frame of windows, frame of doors. They took them. Everybody just wanted to carry something. And you call that a protest? You must be out of your mind if you thought that was a protest. That was national looting that you were trying to do and calling it national protest.
It was.
How do you even call it national protest when more than a quarter of the states in our country didn't do anything about the protest? More than a quarter of the states in our country did not participate in the protest. People sat in their homes. So we can't have, and that is what the Emir is talking about. That this kind of looting, this elevated looting that happened in Kano is unacceptable. And he knew that it would happen. He was warning that parents should not let their children go out. But what did the governor of Borno say? He talked about the Almajiri syndrome and said that 96% of the people who rioted, who protested in Borno, were underage kids.
Yes.
That there was that how on earth will a 6-year-old boy hold a placard?
Because
it becomes a joke. 6-year-old, what does he know about the content of the?
Look at this visual now.
These are children.
These are Kano.
That's what he's saying. That a lot of them,
teenagers,
they should have been in school.
That a lot of them, according to the governor, the people took part were Almajiris. There's a need to look at the Almajiri syndrome again. How many adults did you see here? Are they saying that it's only kids that are affected by hunger? But this thing will always be hijacked.
Yes.
And then when it's hijacked, you say you don't know why it was hijacked. They told you. They always say that Tinubu led protests. Did Tinubu go on the streets? At least we are living witnesses to the fact that they confine themselves to the Kudirat, is it Ganifawa Eme Park?
Sir, the problem with
yes, they made their points.
Yes. The problem
and the subsidy was not removed afterwards. So it's not until you go and occupy the street. Tahrir Square in Egypt, people stayed there and brought down the government.
Yes.
They didn't have to occupy the street.
There.
Yes.
Yes, now.
It was
they were staying there. 90 people. So we must change, as Arando, we must change the way we organize protests in our
most
country.
developed countries.
We must change
They
it.
have places, public places, popular locations
For
where
that purpose.
they continue to protest. And they don't go
It
to
is in front of the White House too.
This Downing Street, number 10 that you're hearing, there's no single day in London that you won't have one or two groups of people protesting. Trafalgar Square, all of those places in the UK, they don't go to destroy people's houses. They don't block
highways.
That
How do you block highways? That's madness.
We were confronted on Wednesday. We couldn't get home. They almost killed us in trying to get home.
This express road.
This express road from Katampe to Warempa, if not for the intervention of the military, they actually took over a road and took some of them because they already started smashing cars with stone. They had sharp knives with sticks and so many things to attack.
The innocent people they are attacking responsible for the hunger in the land.
No, especially if you make mistake. Once you leave the highway to get to service lane, they will confront you. That was as dangerous as that. Yes, that's what that's where they stopped me and they want to blow my car. So I said, let me.
If you had waited,
I think that some of our people in the southeast, they know that protests, this nature of protests, this kind of protest is an ill wind. They are commercial people. They know that they will lose heavily. So they don't always want to get involved in this kind of things. Somebody said something that that the people of the southeast, that they are the ones who like Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Those people
I don't know what
those people have been doing a sit at home.
They've been doing.
They
even
know.
when we had NSAS,
They know
the same attitude. You see, they know that they will destroy their
if
things.
you do protest,
their shops,
plus sit at home.
In fact, they even said that it's their own protest against Nigeria. Now somebody is saying that they are the ones who love Asiwaju the most. What was the percentage that Asiwaju got during the last election? How do you? So what has Asiwaju done for them that suddenly that they now love him more than the rest of us?
Well, protecting
people
their own
are not
interests.
perceptive. They were those guys knew that protesting in that area will put their businesses in jeopardy.
Exactly.
If they were to be a protest in Onitsha, for example, and people overrun that market, one of the biggest markets in Africa, don't you mean that would be a big disaster? So they stayed away. They stayed away. Now interpreting it, you know, all kinds of commentaries. I would say this: oh, they love Asiwaju more than others. They are the ones who love Asiwaju. They were just being reasonable. That look, protesting the way that they do it in our country when they want to take over the roads will not augur well for anybody. We must give credit to some of the governors too, because they work very hard. Governor Hope Uzodinma, for example, worked very hard to say no, we don't have to do this. No strike. In Alia, no strike in Benue, no strike in Ekiti, no strike in Ondo. You know, I'm telling you, at least one quarter of the states in our country didn't get involved in the strike. You know, so it's unfortunate. And they broke about 8 states. We had violence.
In Jigawa, they went to government house.
Some of those things were clearly political in nature. When you see some of the targets, you know that, look, this thing had political undertone. So why were you targeting political offices? Why? So I just...
or people that went to the cement company.
They were looting cement. So what are you going to do with it?
Maybe to build house.
Those boys, which houses?
They are hungry. Those ones are hungry. If you eat cement,
I said they are not quarreling with governments. Those boys were just looking for wood to steal.
They've been waiting for that opportunity
to loot.
Yeah, that's it.
Looting on a big scale is something that had been in their head for years.
Any opportunity like this.
During the Buhari years, we didn't have those protests in the north. Or they spoke to people, no, don't do it, especially when NSAS became an opportunity for the organizers to say, oh, Buhari must go. They didn't get support from the north. But this one support came from the north, and they should have known that they would not be able to control those boys. How are you going to control this kind of crowd? And once they are marching through the street, Adu Bako Secretariat, they went inside, looted some offices there.
Oh God!
What's the meaning of that?
I can see films to the police APC. They were throwing water cannon, but to these boys, they were just having fun. Look at the water cannon,
and they're
trying to dispatch them, but they are not even perturbed. They are not even perturbed. You can see the APC at that.
Normally, all over the world, they use water cannon to stop protesters.
But this
even in Kenya, these ones
are high on something. I don't know
what to make. Anybody who can be using machete to cut traffic lights, you know that it's not normal anymore. Those are not normal. People can go and loot a mosque. You are looting a mosque. And you all the rock that you found there, you stole rock that people pray on. You stole it. I mean, these guys, no. I just don't understand. That's why people want to do protests. Must sign some form of indemnification form.
Yep, your leaders must be known
to control
conveners.
Oh God!
I mean, what we lost during NSAS in Kano, what we lost in our office
in Lagos.
Yes, can those things be replaced?
No,
can those things be replaced? Nobody is saying don't protest, but you know your own rights and know where your rights end. Study the Constitution. You can't come into a studio and be shouting about protest, talking about the right. We have the right to protest, without talking about the limitations to those rights. You are free to swing your arm. Maybe you are doing exercise, but it must not turn into a punch against me. Because if you take out my tooth, the courts will step in.
Yes, sir.
I will have you arrested. But it's your right to swing your arm both ways. So this is the thing. You cannot hurt other people in the exercise of your rights. The Constitution is clear on that.
I want to thank you, gentlemen. Sonny, Daniel, I want to thank you.
Thank you so
for
much.
your contribution.
Thank you for having me.
Journalist Hangouts on Sunday. The maestro himself, ZKO. Thank you, and we're sure we'll be keeping tab on that. And